The most watched streaming platform on TV is not Hulu or Prime or Netflix or even Disney. It's YouTube. And the amount of time people spend watching YouTube on TV is 1 billion hours per day. That's bonkers, and you might not have thought about this before, but it's something you should not ignore. So here's how it works. YouTube's algorithm is all about two things: watch time and session duration. So watch time is how long somebody watches a single video, and session duration is how long they stick around on YouTube. So that is the real secret sauce. And guess what kind of content hooks people for longer? Episodic content. Because I think this is the one feature nobody's really paying attention to right now, or at least most people aren't paying attention to it, but it is the big one. This is what is going to make a difference because it's changing the viewer behavior more than anything else. Honestly, it's really clunky to try to watch YouTube on your TV with a stupid little remote. You're clicking around and it's completely a mess. It's really frustrating. So you want to pick something and be done. And maybe you want to go do the dishes or fold some laundry, and you don't want to be scrolling and picking between new videos all the time. So you want a video that's a little bit longer. And even better than that, you may want multiple videos, just like a Netflix series. YouTube knows this, so they are promoting content that is organized well in playlists. And pretty soon they are going to release this new feature called Living Room, where you can actually organize your YouTube videos into a series, into seasons, and into episodes. Now, I think the reason that a lot of creators aren't getting more excited about this is that they can't really picture how it's going to work for their type of content. Maybe it seems like it would only work for things that are really dramatic or animated, but that's not the case. If your content has multiple parts or episodes, they are way more likely to binge watch, and YouTube loves that. Now, I bet you don't know this part unless you're a total YouTube nerd, but YouTube's algorithms are actually tuned in to reward this kind of behavior. So if viewers are watching multiple videos or episodes in a playlist or even on your channel because they hook well together, YouTube now sees your content as binge-worthy. Now, this isn't all just for your viewers and the algorithm, although these things are great and very important, but it can also make your creation process a lot easier. Episodic content is easier to plan and batch. This is really big because right now you should always be stringing your videos together in some way, pointing from one video to another video and getting people to watch other videos next. You probably noticed we do that a lot on this channel. This makes that so natural. It just kind of plans it into your entire content strategy, so you don't really forget and think, well, how am I gonna link this video to another because it's kind of a one-off video? It's done for you. Maybe sometimes you make a video shorter than it could have been because you think, well, I can't put all of this into one video. But with this strategy, you can. You can make your video as long as possible. And then as you're planning it out, think of it almost as one video, but also remember that there are going to be different episodes. And so within those episodes, you want to plan in cliffhangers so that they will keep watching next and it'll all be cohesive and amazing. Now, episodic content is going to help you get monetized if you are not monetized on YouTube, like nothing else, for a couple of reasons. One of them is that when people start watching these episodes, they are going to get pulled into a story, and your chances of them subscribing to you and returning to watch more of your videos, upping your watch hours, is off the charts. When viewers get hooked on a series, they want to come back and watch the next episode or video, especially if those videos come out on a consistent publishing schedule so they know when they can expect that next episode. And the best way to do that is to hit subscribe and turn on notifications. See what I did there? That's called subliminal messaging. Use it in your videos. That one's free. There is nothing like episodic content to up your watch time. So if you are having trouble getting that watch time, tons of people can't get monetized because they have the 1,000 subscribers, but they can't get up to the 4,000 hours of watch time. If you have longer videos and people are just putting your video on their TV and maybe they walk away, right? You're gonna get that watch time. And watch time looks so good to the algorithm and is gonna make it so much more likely that your videos are recommended to new audiences. And another thing, I just keep thinking of more things. YouTube is going to be able to figure out who your loyal audience is, because the most loyal audience is going to be watching on the TV. They're gonna have your content on all the time, and they're going to be giving you the most watch time. Then they know your audience, then the algorithm knows who to show your videos to, and your videos are halfway decent, you're gonna get big. But then when you look at who this is working for, and they don't actually have the feature yet because it's not released, but the playlist, the strategies, episodic playlist, watch this next kind of strategy is working for people with like absolutely bare minimum production quality. It's kind of funny. Which brings us to our first case study, which is a chick called Albert. Now, I found this because I was trying to research this video, but after watching for a little while, I realized, oh, I've seen this guy because his videos were recommended to me, and I don't really watch content about chickens at all. But it was an interesting enough video that YouTube was spreading it really far, obviously. This guy decides to document kind of a journey of rescuing abandoned bird eggs, and he does really interesting things like buying eggs from grocery stores and seeing if they will hatch. But this process turned into this ongoing story, and it keeps viewers on the edge, coming back again and again to see what happens. Now, I want to point out something here that I think is important because it may seem like this story just inherently lends itself really well to episodic content. And I think it seems that way because there's kind of a survivorship bias or a hindsight bias where you are seeing the end result of this person figuring out how to turn their niche that at first glance would not have seemed like a good fit for episodic content, but you've seen the end result, so it seems obvious to you because you didn't see the channel before they figured out how to do that, right? And so I really want you to keep an open mind that this can work for your channel. And here's what I'm going to do, and I hope I don't regret this, but I want you to comment with your channel, with your niche, your topic, and I will respond to you and try to give you as many ideas, maybe 10 or 12 ideas about how you could turn your channel into episodic content, because I don't want no one saying it can't work for their channel. And if we decide that it can't work for your channel, then I'm very sorry. We'll find another strategy that works for you. Albert could have uploaded just a single video about the hatching process, but he didn't. Instead, he structured it into a series of episodes, all focusing on different phases of the hatching process. So you get to watch the process from incubation all the way to where the chick hatches. And maybe at first glance, that doesn't seem like a long enough journey to make multiple episodes about, but he figured it out. And I would definitely recommend you watch his channel and see what he's doing and try to take a hint out of his book. It's Page out of his book. Okay, this one in particular, and maybe your niche will not lend itself this well to this aspect, but if it does, look for a way to do it, man, because this is really good. He has really leveraged the emotional investment you can get out of viewers when you make your content episodic. Especially with cute little baby chicks and you're like hoping that they hatch and you're hoping that they survive and you want to see how their little life is starting out. His viewers are going to be very emotionally invested, which means they're not going to miss an episode and they're probably going to comment a lot more. Now, there's another reason this works so well, and that is a psychological component, which is that humans are wired to seek closures. So by stretching out the journey, the process, the story through multiple episodes, the viewers have to keep watching to get that closure. Now, you can take this to the extreme, you can take this too far, and people get frustrated and it feels like you're just teasing them. But within reason, as long as they're getting some amount of satisfaction from every episode, you can keep teasing the end result for a long time. Okay, this whole thing reminds me of the TV show Severance. What Severance has done better than any TV show I can recall is that at the season finale, they gave you closure and also a really good cliffhanger. Most TV shows will give you a really good cliffhanger at the end of a season, but they're not going to give you closure and a cliffhanger. Severance did both of those. It like answered the thing you were really hoping they were going to tell you before the end of the season, but you figured they're not going to, they're going to make me wait till season 2. No, it answers it. And then it also gives you another cliffhanger. So hopefully that wasn't a spoiler. I don't really think it is, but go watch the show because it's awesome. And if you have watched it, then you understand what I'm talking about. I want you to give them actually good content. You need to give them value and substance and closure and also a cliffhanger so that they watch the next one. I want you to take away 2 very specific things from this case study. One is that episodic content does not need to be highly produced. It doesn't need to be any more produced than your regular content. The second thing is that you want it to be emotionally engaging and keep them coming back in whatever way you can. Now let's look at this channel called Cranktown City. This one is a masterclass into how to keep viewers hooked from one episode to the next. So he focuses on very intricate mechanical builds and a very wide range of these mechanical builds. All these machines he works on are quite different. It's not just story, it's also the technical skills, but it's absolutely not just teaching. And I think this channel is a really good example of how you can make content that is practical and is technical and isn't just about the story, but also includes story, because you gotta have both. Every project is like a little mini series, and he gets you to watch the next episode because the next episode may be a continuation of the current project he's working on, or maybe it's something that kind of works together with the project he was working on before. And when you go to these channels, go to their actual playlists so you can see how they are structuring these things into playlists. Okay, so here's what I'm talking about. The first 2 videos in his playlist. The first one is homemade CO2 laser tube. Cool. The second one is homemade gas mixer for my DIY laser tube. And at the end of this video, this first video, he says, go watch this one. He already knows what the next video is by the time he was filming this first one. Maybe he even filmed them in the opposite order. I don't know. But he knew what the next video he was going to tell the audience to go to was, and so he was able to make that sound very compelling. And then if you want a bigger channel example, Ryan Trahan's Penny series went absolutely viral. It put him on the map as one of the top creators on YouTube, and that was because he plan this entire thing as a series. Like, it is not standalone episodes by any means. This whole thing is about a journey of trying to get a penny to Mr. Beast, which got him a ton of repeat viewers because people wanted to follow him along that journey. So I told you the reasons why this is going to make your content creation life easier, but there are some things that will be slightly harder, at least initially, which is planning, right? You're going to have to plan this very carefully. Playlists have been on YouTube forever, and maybe you're already using them and you're dumping similar videos into a playlist. But what I'm talking about is making it episodic, where they are chronological, they're serial. One video comes after another, and people want to watch them in a certain order, and people don't want to miss a single one. That is very different from being like, these are all kind of the same category and putting them in a playlist. Both are good. I mean, you want to do playlists either way, but it's better if you can be a little bit more meticulous about it. So I want you to think of this like you're building a TV show. Again, not a high production TV show, but a TV show. So think of what your main storyline is, and then consider what each episode alone will bring to the viewer, and what is going to make people keep watching to the next episode that you can put in that episode. So what is kind of the hook for the next video that will be at the end of the previous episode. Each episode should build on the last and keep progressing the story and giving them more and more and more. Is that making sense? If you're in anything in DIY, you can plan it so that each phase of this project is in a different video, or you could have the entire project in one video, like the mechanic guy that I just showed you did, and then have the next episode relate to that in some way, that you're somehow building something else that relates to this. Or maybe it's an overall story. Like maybe you are making scarves for a homeless shelter, and so you make different scarves in each episode, or maybe one episode you're making the scarves, and the next episode you're delivering the scarves. Once you've planned your series, the next step is linking the episodes. So you want to do this through things like mentioning the next video in the current video you're filming, mentioning the last video in the current video you're filming, doing little flashbacks and flash forward segments. These can be 3-5 seconds, that maybe it's black and white, so it kind of explains that it was a different video. We do that sometimes here, or even a different section of the video. And you can also do this by adding end screens, cards, and links in the description about what other video. You can even do a pinned comment and say, hey, if you're watching this video, you should probably have watched this one first, or if you're watching this video, watch this one next, or you can do both. Okay, let's talk about how you can maximize binge watching. So all of those things will help you to maximize binge watching that I already talked about, especially if people find your channel a long time after you publish these videos. But if you are a new channel, or people are finding your channel right when you publish these videos, they might not have enough to binge watch, and that could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing. It's a good thing if you have enough that they can get invested. So maybe you have 2 or 3 or 4 episodes that they can watch, binge watch, get invested, and then they'll probably patiently wait for your next release. And then as soon as you publish a video, you'll have all of these loyal repeat viewers that are waiting for that video. And that looks really good to the algorithm, and you'll get a little boost at the beginning when you first publish a video. But if you don't have any videos, they're less likely to stick around and wait for the next one, because they aren't really attached after one episode necessarily. There's not enough to binge for them to get attached enough to remember to come back later or hit subscribe. It's easier, right? When they're already there, they're more likely to watch another episode than they are to remember to come back a week or 2 weeks or a month later. So your best chance of really hooking them is to have a few videos that they can binge when they first discover your channel, and then they will probably be ready to keep an eye out for your future videos. This is just one part of the process to getting 4,000 watch hours so that you can get monetized. And if you want the complete strategy, then go watch our video, Get 4,000 Watch Hours Easy, a proven strategy, where Nathan is going to walk you through an entire process to get your channel monetized and maybe make some money before you're even monetized with YouTube's partner program, because we do that all the time around here. Ricky's a pro at it. Go create some outstanding content that people want to binge, and we're going to take over YouTube channel makers.